morning to everyone. Respected CEO, Chief Electoral Officer, my esteemed colleagues, and members of media community, a very warm welcome to this CEO's conference. As you are aware, today, the Election Commission of India has announced the election schedule for the conduct of the general election to the Mizoram Legislative Assembly 2023. It's a good time for us to address the media, and now I would like to call upon our respected Chief Electoral Officer to address the media.
Thank you, Pujala. I warmly welcome our colleagues from the media, people from Mizoram Journalists Association, officers from the election department, ladies and gentlemen. As you are aware that the election process has started with the press conference of the Election Commission. The press conference started at 12 o'clock. The Honorable Commission gave a detailed analysis of the highlights of the summary revision, for which the final roll has been published on 4th of October. Besides the various innovations that ECI would be doing in this current elections, and also the schedule of elections. So, as you are aware, as far as Mizoram is concerned, the Gazette notification will be published on 13th of October. The last date of making nominations is 20th October. The scrutiny of nominations is fixed on 21st of October. The last date of withdrawal of candidature is 23rd October. The date of poll is 7th of November, and the counting is scheduled on 3rd of December. So, I would not like to repeat what the press conference of ECI has already mentioned, but salient features I would like to highlight for the benefit of our friends from the Mizoram Journalist Association. As per the final rule that was published on 4th October, we have 4,12,969 male voters and 4,38,925 female voters. So the number of service voters is 4,973. So including the service voters, the total voters in Mizoram is 8,56,868. As expected, Aizawl has the highest number of electors, which is more than 2.86 lakhs. This is basically because of the factor that it has the largest number of assemblies, 12. And the lowest number of electors are there in Nathia, which is a single assembly district. So, in terms of the AC having the maximum number of electors, it is in Longtarai district, 36 Puang, which has around 36,000 voters, and the lowest number of voters is 34 Thoran, Lunglei, which has around 14,900 voters. The Mizoram has been consistently doing well in the gender ratio. It has further improved to 1,063 women for every 1,000 voters, male voters. So the district where the male electors are more than the female electors is Mamit. And the assembly constituency where male electors are more than female electors, there are many 1, 2, 3, 25, 34, 35, 36, 37, 8 and 21. So the maximum number of voters in a single polling station is in polling station number 13, which falls within 13 Aizawl East Assembly constituency, which has 1,481 voters. The number of young voters within the age bracket of 18-19 is more than 50,000. The number of 80+ plus voters who are entitled for facility of home voting is 8,490. I would like to mention that it is an option of these 80 plus voters. If they wish to come to the polling station, they are most welcome and we will be facilitating them. In case they choose to opt for home voting, we will send a special team for their vote. The number of persons with disability which have been marked in the electoral roll is 3,243. So, a brief breakup, we have 1276 polling stations, out of which 751 is rural and 525 are urban. We have an increase of 112 polling stations as compared to the last assembly elections of 2018. Out of this 112, 75 are urban and 37 are rural. So regarding home voting, there has been a change. So below the RO there used to be one ARO. So this time, since we are focusing on home voting, so there will be a special ARO, an additional ARO, who would be looking for the home voting arrangements. Law and order security arrangements, this was reviewed by the ACI, and after following the process which has been specified, Mizoram government had requested for 450 sections of Central Armed Police Forces. I am happy to inform that it has been sanctioned by the government. We have created a detailed mechanism for monitoring election expenditure. We have team of static surveillance teams, flying squads, video surveillance teams, video viewing teams, accounting teams. We have media certification and monitoring committee, district election expenditure monitoring committee. We are in touch with the central agencies, and we have sensitized the state agencies of Mizoram also. So the monitoring of election expenditure by the contesting candidates will be closely scrutinized. I am happy to inform that an intensive schedule of training of the polling personnel has been organized. There have been trainings conducted by specialists from the India International Institute for Democracy and Election Management. So faculty from IDM and senior officers from the ACI and CEOs, experienced CEOs of two important states. They have come all the way to Mizoram for imparting training to the officers of Mizoram government. We have dedicated sessions for the DOs, for the ROs, for the state level master trainers, district level master trainers, and also for the police officers. So ECI have been trying to have a cascading model of election training. So we are creating a pool of 18 state level master trainers. So the purpose is to build capacity within Mizoram so that the state level master trainers can impart training to the district level master trainers and so on till the last person is covered. So this is much more effective and useful in a state like Mizoram, which has difficult terrain and connectivity problems. We have undertaken intensive sweep activities for creating awareness among the voters. The aim is to have all-time record highest ever voter turnout. And we in the election department and also in all the districts, we are committed to having a very impressive voter turnout. Regarding the EVMs and VVPATs, we have sufficient number of EVMs and VVPATs. First level check was conducted and the progress has been reported to ECI. Even after the first level check, we have sufficient number of EVMs. Regarding the model code of conduct, I would like to mention with passage of time, there has been an understanding about the do's and don'ts of model code of conduct, but it should not create complacency, because every time the process is refined, and I would request the friends from the media to disseminate the do's and don'ts about the model code of conduct, about the need for having free, fair, impartial elections, and this is something which we owe as a duty to the voters. So we must ensure that the voters are allowed to exercise their franchise without being unduly influenced through money power or muscle power, or through any other inducements. So I'm happy to note that Mizoram has a strong tradition of strong people's participation, the influence of the civil society, especially bodies like Mizoram People's Forum and MHAP. They have done stellar work in creating awareness and ensuring that the model code of conduct guidelines are implemented, and they are implemented both in letter as well as in spirit. So I would like to utilize this opportunity to make an appeal to the voters in Mizoram to come out in large numbers to vote fearlessly, freely, and have yet another peaceful elections. I would expect all-time high voter turnout, and I see cooperation, collaboration, and constructive partnership with all stakeholders, especially our colleagues from the media, in the electoral process. We should strive to employ our collective energy towards conducting a smooth, free, fair, peaceful, participative elections for the Mizoram Assembly this year and achieve an all-time highest voter turnout. Thank you.
I have two questions. My first question is, are there any critical polling stations this time? So my second question is, there is a plea of the Mizoram-based, the Tripura-based Mizoram Buddhist-based People's Forum to the Election Commission to not delete around this 3,500 roll voters from the Mizoram voter list. So it was not accepted. So will this be reconsidered?
You see, I would urge the friends from media to understand the election process. You see, whether a person has a right to be enrolled in the voters list is very clearly specified in the representation of people side. There are just two simple requirements. The first requirement is that he should be a citizen of the country, and secondly, he should be ordinarily resident. So with these two broad guidelines before us, ECI prescribes the procedure to be followed for revision. So we have just completed the second SSR, which has culminated in publishing of the final voters list on 4th of October. The revision, for undertaking the revision, intensive and very minute guidelines have been prescribed by ECI, and the team of the DEO, that is the ERO and the AERO, they have scrupulously followed the procedure that has been prescribed, and accordingly the additions and deletions have been made. Regarding critical, there is a mechanism for identifying critical polling stations and vulnerable polling stations. So we have conducted this exercise, and I would like to mention that ECI has provided detailed guidelines for vulnerability mapping. So there is a schedule for vulnerability mapping 1, this DEO gives it to the sector officers. Then the sector officers visit the polling stations, and then they give VM2 performa, and this is compiled by the DEO, and the DEO gives his report to the CEO. And then finally, vulnerability mapping performa 6, the report from the state, from the CEO goes to the ECA. So this is how this exercise is conducted, and we take inputs based on field assessments by the district machinery, by the police machinery, and by the sector officers. We also take inputs from all stakeholders.
One last question. The Chief Election Commissioner have said that there are 22 polling stations which is non-majorable. So, and also the 19 polling stations which can be connected through board.
Yes.
So, can you, if you cannot name like a 22 polling stations, that is okay. But sir, in which district are these polling stations?
You see, I would request James, Joint CEO, and Puzella, they can give you the list after this video conference, after this press conference. You see, our endeavor is to have good motorable roads in all parts of the states. So this is being monitored at the level of the Chief Secretary, and it is also monitored at the level of Secretary PWD. So the entire machinery is on the job, and the engineers are on the job. I have myself traveled extensively. 2 weeks ago, I had gone to Longtalai, and from Longtalai, I had traveled to Siaha. So I have taken it up with NHIDCL also, myself. And this was highlighted by the DCs in the presentations. So we'll be trying to have good connectivity so that the movement of polling personnel and the police CAPF is not obstructed.
So the MKHC conglomerate of churches here in Mizoram had specifically requested that no polling related programs should be held on Sunday, but the counting date is on December 3rd Sunday. Will there be any action taken in this regard from the state, or will the Election Commission consider any change in the dates?
I would like to mention that when the Honorable Commission has visited Mizoram between August 29 to 31, there was an interaction with the political parties. And in that interaction, all the political parties unanimously had requested that there should be no polling on Saturday or Sunday. And as you have realized that today in the press conference, detailed schedule of elections has been elaborated for all the 5 poll-going states. So the dates for the polling and dates for counting has also been indicated. The date for counting is uniform for all the 5 states. So this is it. We need to be aware of what is the model code of conduct. The model code of conduct is designed to prevent any inducement to the voter after the election process is announced. So there is an embargo on new announcements, new schemes, laying of foundation stones. So disbursal of money to existing beneficiaries or announcing new schemes, that is prohibited as per the model code of conduct. In case the public interest is so pressing and the matter is so urgent, then there is a provision for getting exemption through a committee. The committee will examine the proposal and give its recommendation, and then the recommendation of the state government is sent for approval to the ECI. So that provision is also there.